And starting with the bonds via the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange, and you find most activity in the paper maturing 18th of March 2036, 78.93 in terms of price high. Total deals 19, 2.750 billion naira in net worth, and you find other top four most active traded bonds 2017, 2022, and 2026 paper. In total, that's about 8.15 billion naira in 65 transactions. A little bit bullish bias, but not significantly strong. But the treasuries, as always, remain the most active. 1,880 transactions on treasury bills maturing 15th of June 2017. That will be sometime next week, isn't it? 17.70% in terms of a discount high, and that's tracking other papers maturing along that corridor, 22nd of June and the 24th of August 2017, and see the volume of transactions there. Look through the currencies window very quickly, and you see the Naira making a strong comeback, 1.36% at the investors and exporters window, 373.53. However, the interbank spot market, a bit of a gentle haircut for the local currency at 305.60. 407 Naira, 43 kobo will fetched you at the interbank spot yesterday. One British pound at negative 0.47%. The Naira made about 1/10% gain on the euro to 354.41. On the street, the Naira was higher 1.08 to 368 on the dollar, 1.06% higher on the pound at 465, but lost about 0.5% against the supranational currency, the euro. And of course, spoke about that earlier, 373.53, 1.36 on the positive side for the local currency unit, the Naira. So, the stock market shifted 1.16% on Tuesday, retraces 1.51% on Wednesday. So how are investors tracking and investing this momentum? Usman Olubajo is a research analyst at ARM Securities, and he joins us via Skype from downtown Lagos. Good morning, Usman, and thanks for coming through.
Good morning, Bossy.
Good. This is a bit of a momentum. So, how are investors trading this momentum again? If the market spooked on Tuesday, came back on Wednesday, what's on the mind of investors with this a bit of a ride that is happening at the moment?
Well, some investors that have entered the market up to now are those who have purchased stocks at very cheap levels. Some of them are already starting to exit their positions in order to book their profits. But generally, we still see improved appetite for equity. So what has happened is investors that have shunned the equities market prior to now, just because of the fact that the equities market had maintained a downtrend for a while, are starting to come back into the market because of the positive trend we've seen. So institutional as well as even non-institutional players are beginning to come back into the market. So what we think is investors are rotating across the sector. So the banking sectors were the cheapest at some point in time. Now they've rallied. I think investors have shifted their attention towards the manufacturing sector, which were also cheap. And I think what we're likely going to see, we'll see that rotation across all the sectors until when the individual stocks or the individual sectors are appropriately priced.
This momentum, do you think it could get a little bit more bumpy in the days, weeks ahead down into June as we move along?
Yeah, we think there are enough positive sentiment to sustain this uptrend. I think recently, earlier this week, Fitch came out to talk about the fact that the IEW window, that is the investors and exporters windows, is actually very liquid. I think it's trading about $1 billion per month. When you compare that with around $1.5 billion CBN sales for the month, then what it shows that that market is actually liquid, and that would actually continue to boost investors' confidence. We also know that South Africa has now been entrenched in recession, which means portfolio flows to at least equity portfolio investors in that country will likely be looking for other alternatives. Recently, this morning, the Forcados pipeline has been opened, which bodes well for Nigeria's GDP. So all in all, then also MSCI has also increased Nigeria's weighting in its frontier index. So all these are positives that we think at least will sustain foreign investors' appetite into the Nigerian market. For the domestic guys, we still see, especially for those of them who were unable to or who shunned the market earlier on, we still see interest in them trying to look for stocks to buy at this particular time. So all in all, we think the optimism is still, as in the positive trend. We are likely to see the sustained positive trend. And I think I also need to note that we saw something similar in Egypt. Egypt floated their currency in November 2016, and since then we've seen their bourse actually it rose over 50%. So we are not saying we are likely going to see probably as huge as that, but at least that's like it is a comparative, as it's our anchor for now. We think at least, given the fact that there are still positive fundamentals, or the fundamentals are still good, we think there's still scope for further uptrend.
If this is this is scope and room for market to go higher, where do you see the month down the line? Are you looking at 35,000, or do you think at some point we need to come a little bit more gentle and reduce the speed at which the market is moving?
No, I think a number of the large cap companies have actually rallied, and that's because of the liquidity. So most stocks that are likely going to rally next are perhaps medium to smaller cap stocks. So in terms of the speed, you are likely going to see a much more tempered. It's likely that we'll see a much more tempered rise in the Nigerian bourse. So probably a 35,000 might not be too far-fetched. Especially now that Forcados is back, a large cap company like Seplat is likely going to rally on that sentiment. Then we also know that most of the oil and gas sectors the oil and gas sector has not really moved, and we have a number of large cap companies there that could actually significantly push the index higher.
Okay, Usman Olubajo, thank you very much. Of course, we're going to take a look at Seplat market figures after the break. Thank you very much, one of the research analysts at ARM Securities from downtown Lagos. Thank you for your time today. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get into the commodities market.